all the Avengers gotta try to hit me? I'm in Salad, and I saw Avengers Infinity War. It is directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Chris Evans. You also got Joe Saldana, Sebastian Stan, and a lot of other people. There's a lot of people in this movie. Like, this is a very big movie, and pretty immediately, the ship from Thor Ragnarok is shown to have all these bodies just laying about. And what are these bodies doing? Why are these bodies here? Well, you got the children of Thanos. And this is really the movie where Thanos is heavily explored. Children of Thanos are looking for a bunch of power stones to give to their daddy, you know? And they found the source of one, the Tesseract. And Thor doesn't know that Loki has a Tesseract. And Loki is just super, oh, I want this Tesseract so badly. It's even shown within the last movie a scene where he's stealing this horn thing, and it shows him, oh, I want the Tesseract, ooh. And it didn't really show whether he took it or not, but it's implied that he did. And obviously he did, because you got the children of Thanos now after everyone in this ship. And they murder, death, kill everyone pretty much. Except for they leave Thanos. They leave Thanos, but they explode the ship. Well, they didn't mean to leave Thanos. What they did though was have Loki give up the Tesseract. Loki then dies. Thor's like, come on, Loki, why you gotta do this? Why you gotta be like this? Why? No, my brother is dead. That's not good. Man, this sucks. I hate this so much. And then, boom, kablowie, when they escape, the ship is super on fire, then it explodes. And now it's presumed that Thor is dead. And this is very sad. And then, the next scenes, you got a bunch of people looking for Captain America. Hey, where'd Captain America go? Captain America has been gone. He's been gone deaded. I told you the ship blew up. But before that, you know what happens? You got Hulk. The Hulk is trying to beat up on Thanos. And Thanos can easily overpower the Hulk and kind of yeets him off into existence. Just yeets him wherever. But the Hulk eventually crash lands into Earth where Doctor Strange is. And he's like, Thanos is coming. Thanos is no bueno, no good. He's trying to kill half the universe. You don't want that to happen. So Doctor Strange is like, oh, dang, he's coming for me, you know, because I got the time stone and everything. It stays on my body. It will no longer ever be in possession with somebody else except for me. I got this cool spell. And, you know, he's talking about the time stone, right? And then you get a flashback to another sequence where then there's another cut where you see the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're kind of traveling through space and time. They're like going towards this planet. Oh, we got a bounty, and then they pull Star Wars, and once they go out of hyperspace, they realize, oh dang, this planet that was here is not here no more. And they find Thor, and Thor's given all these deets. He's like, what is going on? No, everyone's dead. My brother's dead. All of my family's dead. The entire planet is dead. And he's like giving this information to like Peter Quill or someone. Just trying to like give his experience. He's like, come on. I'm not a threat. I'm really just here to not die. And I want to get back to getting revenge with Thanos. And I need a hammer. I really need a hammer. And the rest of the group is like, oh, we want to go to this planet where the Power Stone is. Uh-oh, no, that's not good, Rocket and Thor says. So they go on a quest to go to this star where there's a forgery where Thanos's and Thor's hammer came from. Like, Thanos had a gauntlet, and the reason that the entire forge is now frozen and they have to restart the forge is Thanos came to them, wanted a gauntlet. Is like, hey, give me a gauntlet that can harness the powers of all the Infinity Stones. And these poor blacksmith guys were like, okay, or not blacksmith, or whatever it's called, whatever they forge weapons. They're like, hey, I really just don't hurt me, please. Thanos is like, I'm not gonna kill him. And then he kills him when he gets the gauntlet. I'm like, come on, Thanos. Why did you have to promise not to kill him when you're just gonna kill him? Why do you gotta be that ruthless and so bad? And I'm guessing it's because Thanos didn't want anybody else to have access to that forgery. Especially Thor. But Thor keeps the eye open, where you got the eye, the mechanism that keeps the neutron star kind of available to heat up with, you know, that kind of thing. That's cool. But he gets so much in pain. Like, there's a force of entire neutron star just hitting his back. And he passes out right in time as he gets this metal heated. Kablow, you got a kind of cooled weapon. And then all they need is a hammer. And then you got Groot, who's now an obnoxious teen. I forgot to mention. He was like a toddler in the last movie. In this movie, he's like super growing up. And he's super rebellious, just like a teenager is. And he swears it's such. He's like, I am Groot. And it's like, oh, that means something offensive and not good. But he does save Thor by giving him the Thor hammer. And it's really cool. It looks like a really cool axe. And I really like this axe. I like it a lot better than the previous hammer. The hammer was just kind of like a square. Why? The previous hammer was like a square. Why would I want to hit something with a square when I could hit something with something cooler and more geometrical, like a cool axe, you know? And I like Thor's weapon a lot. And this is kind of the side quest going throughout the movie. Another thing that happens, Thanos is at this place where they have the reality stone. And they're confronting Thanos, right? They're like, oh, no bueno, I see you. You're in the process of getting the reality stone. And Thanos is like, ha ha ha, you can't get me. And want to know why you can't get him? It's because Thanos had the reality stone all this time. And he just used the reality stone to create a mirror dimension or an illusion to make them appear that they're in cool, calm, collected world. When in reality, Thanos destroyed everything. Everything's on fire. And it's not good. And everything's super hot because everything's on fire. And I just think that Thanos is very clever for doing this because he gets Gamora. And Gamora's like, oh man, I don't want to get captured by my dad Thanos. That's not good. That would be the worst thing ever. But it happens. And Thanos takes Gamora with him to Nebula and tortures Nebula in front of her to get information on the location of the Soul Stone because she was sent on a mission at one point to get the Soul Stone, but she was like, oh, I never got it, but she actually burnt the map to the Soul Stone. And so Thanos is like, I know this information, here's some proof, here's some evidence proof, you showed this in front of your sister, and your sister has some really good photographic memory. It's like, almost like she's a computer or something. And so Nebula is released when finally Gamora's like, oh, it's at this place. So Thanos and Gamora goes to that place, and guess who's there? The Red Skull. Red Skull was like, hey, I'm seeking out the Soul Stone, and there's been a lot of people after me who's been seeking out the Soul Stone, who's just like, hey, I don't want to give up the ultimate sacrifice, which is giving up your loved one. But Gamora's like, you don't even love anyone. You don't love anyone at all. Haha, sucks for you. You were thinking about getting the Soul Stone. Now you can't accomplish your mission at all. But actually, Gamora knows nothing about what Thanos thinks of her. Thanos loves her. Thanos really treats her like a daughter. Thanos is like a parent to her in his eyes, even though Gamora really hates Thanos and just hates him for taking him away from his mom. And I would too, honestly, but Thanos is like, oh, I'm super distraught. This is the worst thing ever. I don't like this. But you know what? If it's to fulfill my true destiny or to relieve everyone of being impoverished and super poor and sick and hungry and such, I'm going to give up my favorite child, Gamora. And Gamora dies, and it's very sad. And I'm like, no, Gamora, come on, Gamora, why do you gotta die? She's a big fighter too. She's like struggling, but Thanos is much bigger than her, so Thanos just chucks her off the side of the cliff, and then Thanos gets the Soul Stone. Meanwhile, with all of this happening, you got Peter Parker and Tony Stark are in space because they're chasing the spaceship that was trying to go after Doctor Strange and getting the Time Stone. These are the children of Thanos. They obviously want the Infinity Stones. So yeah, they're in space, but then they crash land on Titan. The Doctor Strange is there. Anyway, now you got Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You also got Captain America is there, or he's back on Earth or something. Captain America shows up to help Wanda out, but I'm not talking about that yet. What I am talking about, you got everyone's trying to hinder Thanos to keep him under, to keep him chill so they can pull off the gauntlet. And Mantis is there. You also got Peter Quill and Drax. And everyone's it almost happens where you got Thanos' gauntlet taken away. But Peter Quill's like, I'm making this personal. You mess with my girl, you kill my girl, punch, punch. And then Thanos easily overpowers everyone. And then he kills everyone, or at least subdues everyone. He teleports to this place called Earth, where Vision, nice to mention Vision again, because you got Wanda and Vision are in love, and they're kind of away from everyone else. And Vision's like, oh, I got this Infinity Stone, they're going to be after me. And they're having this conversation, like, oh, I gotta go in hiding, because you got these children of Thanos after me. But as this conversation happens, then you got the children of Thanos stabbing Vision, and they're at every attempt just trying to get the Infinity Stone. You even got them going to Wakanda and trying to get the Infinity Stone separated from Vision so Vision's alive still, which is kind of an act that doesn't come to fruition because the barrier of Wakanda is broken into. They eventually have to release the barrier to let all these space dogs in. When you got the children of Thanos' army trying to kill all this other army of Wakanda, and man, there's a lot of Wakanda soldiers. Like, wow, that's a lot of dead bodies to protect like one person. But he's also a very important person, so I guess it makes sense. But they failed to get the Infinity Stone from him, so now you got Vision's just on his last leg, and I'm just thinking that Wanda should have killed him way before this point, even though she's like trying to hold on to some strand of hope, like, hey, I want to live with my lover, even if he has no Infinity Stone. But eventually she does have to kill Vision, And eventually she does have to kill Vision. She tried to keep the Mind Stone away from Thanos, but guess what? That doesn't really do anything. Because guess what? Thanos has the Time Stone, so he reverses back time, then he takes the Mind Stone from Vision, and then boom, puts it in his gauntlet, and now he has all the magic stones to kill everyone in the world. Kills half the people in the universe. Thor is here, he has the last leg defense, and he chucks his really cool hammer at Thanos, and it goes through his body, and Thanos is like, this was really good of you, however, you should have hit my head. And then it ends with a snap. Big flash of white. Half the Avengers are dying. Almost everyone on Titan is dead. Half the people on Earth are dead as well. And it's just like a whole event. It's very sad to see Peter Parker go because Tony Stark saw him as basically a son, and Tony Stark uses this sadness kind of fuel his way back into getting revenge eventually, or at least I hope so. And then now you got all these people living their lives with half the people gone, and then Thanos is looking at a really pretty sunset in a remote planet somewhere else. And I'm like, cool sunset guy, but you destroyed half the universe. And that was very bad of you, but also good. It really depends, because Thanos is such an interesting character. He has this motivation to get all these planets wiped of civilization, just so there's not like a resource shortage. If there's the same amount of resources, but half the people are there, then boom, suddenly everyone's prospering, no one's hungry. And I get his reasoning. I really get it. Like, it makes sense to me, but I wouldn't do it personally. And I wouldn't murder trillions of people because I don't want to be on the hook for being known as someone who murders trillions of people. Like, I don't want to kill anyone. I want that to remain. And I gotta give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Man, it's so pretty. I love the visuals. The color is great. Thanos is shaded very well. Just everything's shaded very well. I already mentioned the colors, but man, I really gotta mention the colors. This was also a great explanation of what the Infinity Stones do, because I had no idea what the red one does until now, which is the Reality Stone. And honestly, it's a great movie. I remember actually just seeing this independent of seeing the other movies, except for the other Avengers movies, because I felt like this was the only movie, or at least the only movie franchise I really had to pay attention to. But upon rewatching the MCU movies, I'm like, oh, all of these movies are actually somewhat important. Some more important than others, but it's still very important. Some more important than others, but they're still very important regardless. And if you liked that content, I have more content on our Patreon on patreon.com/ASEpresents, including some extended mint salad saws within the ASE dailies for $3 a month. You should definitely check it out. There's a lot of ASE dailies up on there. And for $20 a month, you can request a movie review. I'll do some whatever movie you want me to see. I'll watch it, review it, and it'll be up, and you'll get to see it first before it goes public. So go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ASEpresents. Until next time on Mint Salad Saw, I'll see y'all later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.